Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my review of the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Megalopolis exclusive Darvold, the Elven Swordmaster. Here he is in the packaging. As you can see, he is basically a straight up repaint of Quailvaris, which put them side by side so you can see. I mean, they're basically the same exact figure. Near as I can tell, come with all the same parts and accessories. But we won't hold that against him because he's a pretty cool paint scheme, you have to admit. He is painted in the Megalopolis colors, basically the white and the purple, with the hood and the cape and all that. Pretty cool rendition of that particular mascot that they have. I kind of like it. So anyway, here he is in the box. It's original artwork there for the character. Says exclusive up there. Has the Megalopolis thing right there. Flip her over. And instead of other figures in the wave like you would typically see, and I'll use Quailvaris again as an example. Instead, you have a product shot, which is very cool. Makes him kind of unique, in my opinion. And of course, he also comes with a file card, which, if you would like to read, you may feel free to pause the video and do so now. Very cool figure. I'm looking forward to getting him out of the packaging. I got him a couple weeks ago, but I've just been a little too busy to actually review him. So I've been looking forward to making this, just as I'm sure you've been looking forward to actually seeing him in person too. I will say this right off the bat, he is a little expensive. As an exclusive carded, a regular carded figure is about $25 on the Boss Fight Studio page. This figure was 27 and change, I believe, if I remember correctly. Plus, Megalopolis, their shipping is a little higher than I was expecting, too. I mean, they use priority mail shipping, which is always nice. But, you know, it was still double digits to get this and a couple other pieces. That is not a criticism, it's just an observation I made. They also had a lot of the Mighty Steeds Kickstarter stuff for sale live before the boss fight page even does, so gotta give them credit for that. And they had some decent deals too, so I do recommend you check them out. It's just that this particular figure was a little bit more expensive than I was expecting. Let's get all this stuff out of here. And, oh, I was mistaken. He does not have all the exact same parts as Quailvaris. He has two axes instead of his bow and quiver. So, there you have it. Alright. As usual, we're going to have a look at the accessories first. Let's get this bag open. I'm going to just cut this tape. I've opened enough of these already to know that sometimes it's not worth fighting it. Alright, so basically inside the bag, we have his extra set of hands, which I'll go over when I do the articulation. He has standard figure base, which we are used to seeing, and he also has an extra chest barbell peg, which, as I've shown in previous videos, replaces this for some reason. Again, I'm not 100% sure why they give it to us, but I am under the impression, just from reading stuff online, that apparently this particular torso doesn't fit certain waists or something like that. I'm not sure. So this is actually an extension to help make sure that you can get that good connection on there. I'm not positive though. I'm just going by what I heard. Anyway, he has removable hair, as you can see. White wig, nicely detailed. He has his hood. And this model of hood usually works pretty well. It's the other model that doesn't really, it usually gives me problems. He has a very nicely painted sword. I do like this quite a bit. He has his backpack. Very nicely painted. There is some really good detail on this. I've done in a couple of customs, which I'll have videos up soon. And they picked them out in paint very well. Comes with his spare head, which is all black except for the eyes, which are painted red. I'm not sure how well that's coming up on camera. And of course his ears, which stick out. It's pretty cool. And his two axes, which are black except for the blades. They're silver. Again, very nice molded detail on these. He is a swordsman. He comes with a sword, obviously. But one thing I am noticing is that he does not have a sword sheath. So, unfortunately, he can't store all of his accessories on him because he's only got two hands, and he can't store his sword while he's holding his axes and vice versa. So, that's a drawback. But anyhow, the cape is removable, of course, as with most of the parts on them. Very good gold detail on there. I like the head sculpt. I like the details picked out in gold on this figure. They look very good. It's just enough color to make it pop. I even like the purple around the boots, boot tops. Very cool. All right, let's get done his articulation, and then we can get him geared up to see how he looks. His head is on a barbell joint, which allows for a full 360-degree motion. He can look up. He can look down. He can tilt his head from side to side, and he has a very slight rocking back and forth. Nodding back and forth, I should say. His arms will do a full 360. They go up about this high. There's nothing at the bicep. His elbows can do a full 360 at the peg. They can bend up 90 degrees that way. Almost 90 down. His wrists do a full 360 at the peg. This particular set of hands tilt down and up, and the extra set of hands that he comes with, when you swap it out, allow you to bend the hands in and out. So depending on what weapons you have him equipped with, he can hold the weapon appropriately and make it look more natural in his hands, which is always good. I am a huge fan of the fact that they give you an option with the articulation there. He does have the barbell peg at his rib cage, like I showed you earlier, which allows for a decent range of motion there. He does have a pivot because of the figure's construction right here at the top of the waist, which for a brand new figure is surprisingly smooth on this guy. His legs are going to be a little bit hindered because of this thing, but hopefully not too much. So he can lift his legs up about that high. He can put his legs out about this far. He can kick his knee back, his heel back about that high because he's got double jointed knees. His ankles do a full 360. And they pivot down. Unplugged the foot a little bit by doing that, but that's okay. And point his toes up too. Very good articulation on this guy, and for a brand new figure, again, he's pretty moves pretty fluidly. I'm pretty impressed. Just to point it out, and it is picked out in paint on this guy, but this particular mold of skirt, it does have a port here and here for attaching accessories. Fortunately, he doesn't come with the accessories that you would plug in there, but you can get them in builder kits and whatnot, like sword scabbards and things like that, like a knife scabbard sheath or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, he doesn't come with a sword sheath, but there is a porthole here at the bottom of his backpack where you can plug a sword sheath in. You can also plug the sword sheath into the hook eyelet right there. It'll actually work in there too. But anyhow, let's get him geared up. We'll see how he looks. He is a swordsman, so we are going to put the sword in his hand. Let's see how he looks with the wig on. Just like with Quailvarus, it does sit kind of high on his head, but it looks pretty good, in my opinion. Get your hand down so people can see. There you go. Looks very cool. Let's get his hood on, see how that looks. I think for this guy, I'm going to have to pop his head off, put it in through the front. Pinch it. Plug it in. Yeah, this model of hood definitely sits a little bit better than the other one. I like that look too. It looks very good. It's going to be tough for me to decide which way I want them better, with or without the wig. Let's see. Let's get his other head on. See how that looks. Do it without the hood. Pretty cool. Let's do it with the hood now, as he's pictured on the box. Hardly tell the face in there. It's pretty cool. I kind of like that too, honestly. His backpack will peg in here through the cape. I usually have mine on an angle like that. Very cool. I like him. Let's stand him up for my final thoughts. All in all, I think he's a very cool figure. I do like I like the accessories when they came with Quailvarus. I've bought a few blanks of this particular mold and these accessories already, and I really like it. I think it's an excellent mold. Man, he's far away when I look at the camera, but I can't help that. Anyway, he's a very cool figure, and I do like this paint scheme quite a bit. Like I said, he is a little bit more expensive, just by a couple of bucks when you compare it to the other figures that are available on the cards from Boss Fight directly. But, you know, sometimes you have to pay exclusive prices to get the exclusive items. I do kind of think he's worth it. If you are a collector of this particular toy line, you're definitely going to want to add him to your collection. If you are an army building your elves, you're definitely going to want to add him to your collection. He is a really cool looking figure. I do like the paint scheme on him. I'm very happy I picked him up. And if you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.